working on an art project and it's not really going so great, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, you realize that you hate it. And you're looking at this thing and you just want to punch it in its face and throw it in the ground and get rid of it. Well, don't do that, okay? Because in today's video, I'm going to show you some steps you can take to fix it. Also, please remember that the only person's opinion that matters with your art is yours. You need to be happy with your work. So in this video today, I'm going to be actually showing you how to change a piece of art that I hate. There's lots of things about this painting I didn't like, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to show you how I go about making simple changes in order to make it a fun new piece without completely starting from scratch. So if that interests you, then stick around, enjoy the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. With that all said, let's get painting. Okay, so here's a painting of Smith rock that I did. I don't like it. I don't like the shape of Smith rock, and I also don't like whatever is going on over here. This is just confusing. That rock doesn't look right, and the sky is kind of boring, so we're going to change it up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that boring sky. I'm sure most of you have seen my other paintings. I like really vibrant and wild skies and sunsets. So I'm going to change this into a sunset by adding lots of purples and reds and a little bit of orange and some yellow, and just really make it more vibrant, and probably sprinkle in some stars too to just really change it up from this boring blue color. So if you have a painting that you don't like, I recommend sitting down and figuring out what it is exactly you don't like about it. Don't just look at it and say it's ugly, or I don't like it, or I hate it, whatever. Make a list. So for me, it was the sky was boring, the overall color palette I didn't like, the shape of the mountains I didn't like, and the left-hand side had too much going on. So those are the items that I'm going to change. And I feel like if I just change those few specific items, it's going to dramatically change the overall look of this painting. So sit down, look at your painting, make a list, and then go from there. So many times there's been a student that hates their work, and they look at it and they can't stand it. But instead of sitting down and figuring out why they don't like it, they just want to get rid of it. They want to throw it away. And I say, no, don't do that. Sit down and figure it out. Make a list. Write down the items you don't like, and let's change them together. Everything can be changed. So as you can see, I am painting over the painting, but I'm not erasing the whole painting and starting from scratch. I'm not gessoing it, throwing it out the window, lighting it on fire, and burying it into the ground. No, I am simply going through my list and I am changing what I can. Right now, I'm finishing up that sky, and it was really simple and quick to paint over it to give it a dramatic effect to totally change the whole mood of the painting. Now I'm going to sprinkle in some stars because I love sunset and twilight paintings. I think they're awesome. And I think that was also a big problem with this piece, is that I wasn't thrilled with the overall color of it or the vibe of it. I think I was trying to go for maybe actual realism, which isn't my thing. And so I had no passion for it, right? You need to have some passion in your art, or it's just not gonna look right or feel good, and you're gonna be really unhappy with it. Okay, and now I'm changing the color of my mountains. So I'm going over that normal sort of red ochre and sand color with violet. I love painting mountains in fun, wild colors like violet and peach and pink and bright blues. So that's what I'm going to do here. For those of you who don't know, this is a real place. This is Smith Rock State Park in Oregon. It is gorgeous. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. It is a full day of hiking, so be prepared for that, but you can visit and take advantage of their picnic areas and just walk down to the water. It's really a beautiful place. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Okay, so now I'm going to change up the colors of the trees. Right now they're a dark green. I'm going to actually change that to a light, soft blue. I think one of the things that the painting was missing was a sense of depth, because all the trees were sort of the same color and the rocks were sort of the same color, even though they were at different locations in the painting. So in here, I'm going to make the trees farthest away a light blue, and as they get closer to the foreground, they're going to get darker and darker and darker. And I think that's really going to help change the look of the painting as well. And now I'm just going to paint in some slightly darker blue color on the grass up here on top of the ridge, and then on the side right there, just so I kind of know where the shape of the ridge is. Again, I was getting lost in the details earlier, and that was kind of making my painting a mess. So I need to simplify this, right? So I need to simplify my shapes, simplify the trees. It's really going to help out a lot. So now I'm just taking a darker blue and dropping in some more trees in front of those light blue trees, and then even darker blue here in front of those. And now you can really see that there is a change of distance here, right? Those trees have really made a big impact already to this painting. So I'm gonna go in and work on the ridge now with some dark violet and just put that in here, and then I'll go over this with lighter violet or maybe some pink color for the highlights of that ridge. First, I need to drop in just a little bit of shadow in the ridge too. Whenever you do a mountain, make sure you have your base color and then your shadow color and then your highlight color. You need 3 colors for your mountains no matter what. So here I'm just taking sort of that soft blue color again that I used at the top of the ridge, and I'm using my palette knife to scrape that over some of that violet there. And then I'm going to drop in the highlights after that. But while I have this blue color on my palette knife, I'm just gonna go ahead and block in that color all over the left-hand side, because again, I need to simplify that left-hand side. There was way too much going on. There was a trail there was bushes and trees and little rocks and just so many things that got lost in the detail. So we're wiping that out. And now I'm taking that same violet color I used on that ridge and putting that onto the big rock here, and also pushing it out into the water a little bit to change its shape, because I didn't like the shape of it. It looked too stiff and unnatural. So we're going to change the shape and change the color and add some highlights. Okay, so now I'm going to paint my river beautiful peach color so I don't lose it amongst all this blue here. And I made it this color because 1, it looks really cool, and 2, it's sort of like the sunset is reflecting off the water, and that's what we're seeing there. So I thought that was a pretty choice. And I'm going to add some orange in here and darken it up around the corner in front of that big rock with some darker red, and maybe add a touch of yellow in the back too. Okay, so it's highlight time. So let's take that soft pink color and highlight this rock here. I'm just going to gently graze over it with my palette knife and see what kind of fun highlights we can get out of it. Okay, so now I'm just going to drop in some more trees around the base of this rock and along the river. Okay, so now I'm dropping in the trees on the other side of the river using that medium blue color. And then I'll start patting in a little bit of ground too. And then I'm going to then do it again with the darker blue color. Okay, so now I'm going around with some more highlights. This is a little bit brighter peach color, and really trying to separate that edge of the large rock here against the rocks behind it. I'm gonna add a little bit of peach to it too, as you can see there. So it acts sort of like the sunset is bouncing right off of it and really warming up that rock side. And now I'm taking that same color and I'm highlighting the ridge finally over here on this side, and that'll really help make it pop against all that blue. Okay, so now I'm going in with my fan brush again and using that darker blue color and dropping in some more trees. Okay, so as you can see, this only took a few minutes to dramatically change the overall look of the painting without completely wiping it out and starting over, right? All we did was tackle each area we didn't like a little at a time, mostly by just changing the color. Okay, so now I'm adding the final layer of trees here, and this is mostly black. There's a little bit of blue in there, but you can't quite tell. And so as you can see, I'm not only simplifying the left-hand side, which is what needed to be done, but I'm giving the painting more of a sense of depth because these trees are right up close and they're really, really big. So look at how easy that was. I think I'll add one more tree in here, just like this. Super easy technique. And then I'll add a few details of grass and things up in the front here as well. Okay, so let's add some final touches here. I'm going to warm up this area because that's sort of where the sun's kind of peeking through, and so it's radiating out on both sides right there. So I'm going to warm up some of the mountains just a little to increase the contrast with the rest of the painting here. All right, so this is our final piece. It looks much, much better. I'll try to put up the before picture here for you and we can compare. So as you can see, most of the previous painting shape is still here, right? We changed some of the mountains a little, but we left the river pretty much alone. We really just changed the color palette and simplified things. All right, so there you go. I took my painting that I really did not like and I just made a few changes and it turned into something totally different. And now I like it. I hope you guys found this video educational and entertaining, and if so, hit that subscribe button for me down below. Until next week, everyone, bye.